So we have ordinary versus systematic research, right? So bias questions that leads to a specific response or exclude certain group, right? This is something that can be avoided by researchers so that you includes every stakeholder, right? Who could and should contribute to your research findings, right? Sometimes if it's too biased, let's say if you are being paid by a company to do research about the benefits of using this perfume, for instance, and you are only using the sources referred by the company, so it's very biased, right? So it would turn out very biased because everyone involved is going to answer only good things or going to say good things, so positive things about this product and so on, right? It excludes those who are not using, and you cannot identify why they are not using this product and choosing others over this and so on. A limited sample can only make conclusion about the group that was surveyed, right? Tendency is to generalize all people. Results only as good as the way the question was framed and the responding sample. So these are some things that you can avoid. Scientific thinking, most important parts of scientific thinking, using empirical evidence, practicing logical reasoning, possessing a skeptical attitude. Empirical evidence is basically the data, right? Try to collect as much, back it up with statistics and so on. Logical reasoning, don't go for what you call assumptions, don't make sweeping statements, right? Make sure there are researchers that's backing up your reasoning and so on, right? Skeptical attitude, always question your findings, always questions the researches that has been done in the past and so on. Evidence, empirical evidence, the data that you can see, hear, touch, basically your senses, right? It is evident that others can experience, which means if you have experienced something that can be emulated and that it can be experienced by others as well. Repeatable as well, right? Authoritative evidence, something or someone that have the authority, the legitimacy to give you the evidence. Most of the times is what we refer to people with authorities, for instance, or those who have experience in certain field, like a PhD holder in food and technology, right? Then you want to approach them to gather the opinions about what are the nutritions can be found in certain foods, books, billboards, television commercials, and so on, right? Rationalism, logic allows us to reason correctly, but it's a complex topic and not easy in being rational. Most of the time people tend to be emotional, right? When you are too emotional, there's a tendency to overlook or to ignore logical reasoning, right? Logic sometimes, for instance, when in the Petrarch system we say that women has to work, but is it logic? For you to survive, you have to make sure that everybody learns cooking and so on, right? So it's nothing, it's illogical when certain concepts are defined in such way, right? Skepticism, you have to always question your beliefs and conclusions, even if you have done an enormous work, thorough work in coming up, informing your conclusions. Make sure that you always leave a space for you to question what are the alternatives, what are the gaps that might be filled up in future and so on, right? And basically, four purposes of research. Right? Exploratory, you explore an area where little is known or investigating the possibilities of undertaking a particular. Right? For instance, if there's a zero reports about racial discrimination in Malaysian society, right? then you want to explore that part, right? You explore, basically exploring, right? Descriptive, you describe what happens. This happens this time. Let's say in 2018 there was an election, people voted for this and this happened and so on. So it's very descriptive. Explanatory, you want to clarify why and how this relationship between two of a situation or phenomenon. Right? For example, why stressful living results in heart attacks. There's a cause, there's a potential cause and potential effects. You want to explain the relationship between these two phenomena. Correlational, discover, establish the existence of a relationship, association, or independence, right? Cause and effect, there's always a cause and effect to any phenomenon, right? What we call as establishing the causality, right? Basically, these are the elements involved in establishing causal relationship. Time order, cause must have occurred before the effect, right? Covariation, changes in the value of the independent variable must be accompanied and so on, right? So how do we study human action with social science method? Right, as we seen before, two major things. One is induction, and another one would be deduction, right? In induction, what we call is we develop, the social scientist wants to develop a theory by generalizing from a number of individual cases, right? You start from a problem and then you come up with to develop a theory. Theorize to explain why it has happened, right? Deduction, make predictions from the general rules to a new set of then they make prediction from the general rules to a new set of events or cases, right? You deduce. You have a theory, and then from there you deduce whether it has happened in accordance to that theory or not, and so on. They test their prediction with knowledge gain and so on. Right, when people are hard to study, ethical limit, right? There are ethical limits that you have to go for. Set an appointment, you have to make sure that they have the time to meet you, and if you're conducting an interview, you must make sure that you are being respectful, you don't cross the line and so on, right? There are many ethical limitations. Like if you're going to conduct an interview in certain places, you must get an approval from your school or your research center that you're coming from this institution for this, and what we call as ethical clearance, right? Okay, apart from that, we have advertising research, right? Advertising, people who ignore research are as dangerous. I mean, these are just quotations, right? You can read for yourself. Advertising research is basically you can do to identify your market, right? Where you want to find your audience, where you want to find your potential consumers and so on. Who are your potential buyers and so on. Other than that, there are studies that explore the influence of advertising, whether advertising has caused a consumerist culture, for instance, or like in Marxist terms, we try to identify whether advertising has introduced have induced people to buy what is unnecessary, what is not needed, and so on. So these are the two different approaches, right? So these are the basic research process. You have preliminary discussions, planning and data collection, application, and so on. Right? Problem definition, evaluate alternative choices, research justification, blah blah blah, specification of informational needs, right? Basically, in problem definition, you evaluate alternative choices, and better understand market problem, increase knowledge of particular topic, right? You wanted to find what are the other possible ways to advertise, right? For this, advertising research basically conducted by companies, right? They want to promote their products and so on. Right. For now, for instance, now that a lot of supermarkets, shopping complexes has been closed, so everybody is resorting to online digital marketing, digital marketing, yep, and online delivery. So how you can adopt to survive in current situations and so on, right? So these are the basic how you discover the problem, right? First step, problem, opportunity, right? So determining the unit of analysis, what you want to study, whether you want to study about the individuals or the households or organization, right? So you have to define. Maybe you want to study about the pattern of buying among housewives, or the pattern of buying of youngsters in Penang, let's say. So you have to determine the unit of analysis, what you want to study, what is the thing that you want to study, right? Okay, basically that's it. First week, I'll provide you the tutorial question. So if you have any questions as well, you can email to me or you can post it in the discussion forum. We can discuss that. All right. Thank you.